All right. Let me shorten that up. What's going on, Coach Launch crew in the Coach Launch group? You know it. Here we go. Just pulling up. Getting ready for session 2. Going to open this up so I can see your comments. All right. Maria is here. So we're running this a couple different ways right now. Okay. So I've got a Zoom room open right now. And if we actually are pulling people on for some mindset stuff, then I'm going to ask you to jump on. Richard, Carly, Jeff, Kat, and Kat, 2 cats. Wow. Art. I totally did. I totally just meowed. That's awesome. Maria is on Facebook. We've got one person on Facebook. Anybody else on Facebook? Maria, let me know if you can hear me. If you are, let's do this. Look at that. You're on there. Kyle's in here now. Okay. So you can chat in the chat box. Go ahead. Yeah, test. I see your test. And I raise you. I don't even know what I would raise you there. So, oh man. Having some issues with Zoom. I am going to make an audible here. All right. All right, you're in, Tamara. All right, we'll try this. We'll try this just like this. Nick just showed up in the group. All right, beautiful. And then, so we're rolling now. Let me just share this into that call. And invite, there it is. Copy URL, ready to rock and roll, says Nick. All right. Okay, so let's do this. So, well, we got 9 folks in here right now. We've got a couple on Facebook. You're fine either way. Just let me pull this up so that I can have my notes here. All right. This one's called The Big Difference, okay? Tamara, good to have you here. Love the Pixies. Kyle, howdy. Hello from Jeff. Richard with a test. I see you. Lori's here. Awesome. Beautiful. So the big difference, what do I mean by that? First of all, I've been standing all morning, so I'm sitting down right now. If my timer goes off, I might just stand up again. We'll see. But what is the biggest difference in your coaching business? First of all, if you were on the first session, let me know. Let me know if that was good for you, because it was good for me. But what do I mean by the big difference? I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean. These are conversations I have with coaches every single day, new coaches. Okay. This is such a tricky conversation to have, not for me, but for new coaches. Because every new coach has overcome some kind of limiting belief, has had to adjust their mindset, has had to make some kind of change in order to actually be able to make an impact in their own life. And now they've decided, yeah, you know what? I can help other people. What's going on, Phyllis? Welcome in. And so then they do. And but the biggest mistake they make is they think that mindset is a fixed thing. Now, what do I mean by fixed? You know this, right? Mindset isn't fixed. Mindset isn't something that you take care of once and you're good forever. It just doesn't work that way. Every time that you try something new, anything new, it's out of your comfort zone, you will have mindset issues. I know I do. That's just the way it is. And I promise you, launching a coaching business is something new. Okay? You've never done it before. So the big difference is twofold. If you're ready, I'll tell you. Let me know if you're ready. Let me see some interaction in chat. Same thing with this morning. The more interactive you are, the more you are going to get out of this. And if you're here, you might as well be interactive and get out of this. Let's do it. All right. I love it. Welcome in, Lenita. Awesome. All right. Here's the biggest difference. The biggest difference in your coaching business. I don't care what anyone else says. This is it. The biggest difference in your coaching business is 100% and only you. You are the biggest difference. You are the biggest factor. I don't care how you were trained. I don't care what you know. I don't care what kind of website you have. I don't care how big your loan was to launch your business. I don't care, who your coach is or who your mentor is or who your consultant is. I don't care how you structure your packages. All these things matter. All these things are important. They're all important. But you are by far the biggest difference in your coaching business. And I say that and you're probably like, yeah, of course, Brad. But so few people actually tap into this, recognize it, and embrace it. And if you will do that from the start, if you will tap into this from the start, that you are the biggest difference, it will make all the difference in the success of your coaching business. You are the product. People ask me all kinds of questions all the time about how should I package this? How should I structure this? What do I do for my first 4 sessions? And I answer those questions. That's what I do. I help people figure this stuff out. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as much as you. You're the product. You're the brand. You're the coach. Everything else can be figured out. But you are the one that makes the difference. So what does that mean? When people ask questions like, what software do I use to host my course, my online course, or my coaching program? It's not going to make a difference in the actual impact in the person's life. You are the difference maker. You showing up, you being present. Are you tracking with me at all? Does this make sense? Let me know. Hello again, Stefania. Carly says totally. And we're going to get to, in 1 minute, how we absolutely leverage you being the biggest difference. And we're going to go deep. Coffee. It's decaf this time. Water. My water's decaf too. All right. So, if you're the big difference, then what's going on in here and what's going on in here matters tremendously. Let me move that down a little bit. So I'm in more of the frame. What's going on in your head and what's going on with you emotionally and in your heart matters tremendously. Your mental and emotional framing is critical to your success. So this is where I lose a lot of new coaches, because because we've all learned how to do some mindset work, we think that we don't need any mindset help. But if you think about it for even 30 seconds, you'll realize we all need it. I need it. I have invested tens of thousands of dollars into coaching. I would say that's how I've gotten to where I am. Sure, investing tens of thousands of dollars of coaching. And it took me, I had to overcome some money mindset and money emotional issues in order to do that. Like there was work I had to do before I was ready to do more work. Does that make sense? So let's start talking about mental framing, emotional framing, and mindset. Anytime that I hear someone talking about a complaint in the coaching industry, I know they have mindset issues. It's probably revolving around scarcity. I'm in plenty of groups. I know plenty of coaches. I know some super successful people. I know some of the most successful, and I was trained by arguably the most successful coach ever. Everything's a mindset issue when I hear people complaining about the coaching industry. If you're not certified, there's scammers out there. These people are giving us a bad name. If you're in any coaching groups outside of this one, then you see this all the time. The high ticket people are all a scam. If you aren't just asking questions, you're not coaching. Well, some of what people are saying is true, but not all of it. And when you start complaining about the coaching industry, what that says about you is that you have limiting beliefs. You think somebody else can determine your success. Does that make sense? Are you with me still? Let me know. I'm not seeing a lot of chatter right now, so let me know if you're with me. Richard says with you. Art says with you. Jeff says, yes, I hear you. Anytime I hear somebody say, I don't have enough money to launch my business, mindset issue. Anytime I hear someone say, I don't have enough time to launch my coaching business, mindset issue. Anytime I hear someone say, well, I'm a single parent, so I just don't know how I can do this, mindset issue, mental framing issue, emotional issue. It's not real. They're not real issues. Single dad, part-time job, and that part-time job was a pastor, so I wasn't making a lot of money. I've overcome more limiting beliefs than most people are even aware they have. I'm not the most charismatic. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the best looking. All right. I only have pictures of a car to post, all that BS. It'd be so easy to list off all these things, but trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. They're all mindset issues, right? When you start saying things like, oh, I need a new niche or a new market because my market can't afford coaches, mindset issue. Do you know how many people told me that I wouldn't be able to run a business helping new coaches? Everyone said, no, go find people who have been coaching for a few years and help them make more money. But I want to help new coaches. I want to help people who have a passion to make a deep impact in the world. I want to help them avoid the mistakes that I made. I want to help them get ahead quicker. I want them to stand on my shoulders, the money I invested, the time I invested for years. I want them to have that benefit at their fingertips. I'm not interested in taking a really successful coach and making them super successful. I'm just not. I'm really, really interested in helping new coaches do this. Do you know how many people told me, oh yeah, you'll never be able to work with Fortune 100 executives? Yeah. To get in that door is almost impossible. And now I have Fortune 50 and 10 companies asking to work with me. And I've got other friends who are coaches that are like, hey, can you connect me to that company? And I can't. They're not interested in them. But they're interested in me. But if I listened to other people, if I didn't have my mental framing straight, and it's something I had to do every single day, yeah, that's something I had to do every single day. Art says something is clicking here. Tell us more, Art. Are you with me so far? Do you understand that almost everything is a mental framing, emotional framing, mindset issue? And you are the biggest difference. How does this play out? This continues to play out. For example, I had a lot of people say, you can't do this training this week. This training that I'm doing all week, people were telling me, hey, you shouldn't do that. You're going to give away too much for free. And then people won't want to be your clients. I don't think that's true. I don't care. Do you know why? Because what I am doing right here is not the same as working with me every day for 3 months. It's just not. So why wouldn't I just help you as much as I possibly can right now for this week? I don't have no problem with it. And it's going to matter to you because you're going to deliver for potential clients content that is valuable. We're going to talk about that this week. I'm going to help you develop some content and create some content and focus in on your niche and nail down your messaging so that when people read what you write, when people hear what you say, they sit up and they go, oh man, they totally get me. And the next question they want to ask, but they won't say it out loud, is, I wonder if that person can help me. Does that make sense? Is this making sense to you? Kat says, challenging my mental framing has been the biggest game changer of my life. It's always a work in progress, but I'm taking, yes, I love it, Kat. I know it. Art says, I do have a lot to offer. So why would I worry about being pushy, offending? It's a matter of weeding out. Yes, Art, that's exactly right. That's another mental issue. I don't want to sound salesy. I don't want to sound icky. Okay. Here's how that's a mental issue. If you are an icky person, you're going to sound icky anyways, right? If you aren't an icky person, then you shouldn't worry about it. The only way you're going to start to sound icky is if you're so concerned about the fact that you think you're sounding icky, people that you talk to are going to start going, this guy sounds icky, or this lady sounds salesy. Does that make sense? It's a mental framing mindset issue. There is no problem. Robbie says, thank you. Stefania says, so true. I can relate so much right now. Beautiful, beautiful. Jeff says, give away the best that you have and make time with you the most valuable commodity. Again, you are the difference. Exactly right. Kyle says, had to move past that, what I have to say and think is worth something. Yes. Okay, let's talk about another mindset issue. Okay, here's a big one. If you don't believe you can do something, you won't even take the steps you can do and the actions you can do to get there. I'm going to say that again. If you don't believe in your head and in your heart that you actually can do something, you won't even take the required steps that you can do to get there, which means you never will get there because you won't do the things that are right in front of you that can be done. What happens is you take that little step and that next step and that next step and that next step. And it's only then when you've walked step by step to this place up here that you know and can see and have the ability and capability to take the next step. You're right. Right now, you can't do what you want to do. But if you start implementing, you can quicker than you think in a matter of weeks. I promise you, and I see it all the time with my clients in a matter of weeks. What took me years to do, I'm helping my clients do in weeks. You have no idea. You have no idea how awesome that is. You have no idea how much that lights me up. It's what, right? You do the same thing for your clients. Don't you want to do the same thing for your clients? Right? But if you don't believe you can do it, if you don't make that mental framing and that mental shift and that emotional framing and that emotional shift, if you don't cast that vision and see it and meditate on it and see that you that has a full-time successful coaching business, and if you don't believe it can be done, then you might fake it. You might pretend like you're doing some of the work, but you won't commit to it and do it in a way that makes it successful. And so then, yes, you never will do it, but you'll sit back and you'll say, I knew it. I just knew I couldn't do it. Are you hearing me? Lori says, so true. We've been battling that. Things are finally changing with the change of mindset. Yes, it starts right here, and it starts right here. The biggest key is when you take the vision you're casting here and you pull it down and you feel it emotionally, when you can feel your future in your body right now, you know that your neural synapses are firing and creating this neural network pathway. You're literally rewiring your brain with your mental framing. It does all start in the mind. Okay, so what's going on? Why do we always face resistance? If I am the big difference, no, you weed some of them out, Art. I am on the phone every week with people, and I just tell them, no, you're not a good fit. This isn't the right time for you to join Coach Launch. You get to do that. You get to choose who you want to work with. I don't want to work with people who are indecisive people. I don't want to work with them. They'll never take the action that's required. Now, if someone is acting indecisive, but I see the potential in them, I'll bring them on. That's why I ask so many questions on the enrollment call, and we'll talk about that in a couple of days. Okay, so what's going on? Why do we face so much resistance? Why do we continually have mindset issues? Well, it's natural. Let me explain it. Your nervous system has developed over thousands of years with the sole purpose of your survival. And in fact, our nervous systems have done a great job because as a species, we're still around. Okay? All right. But here's what happens. Anytime you want to make your life better, anytime you want to thrive, your nervous system goes ape, because now you want to take your life into the unknown, and your nervous system thinks the unknown is equal to death. That's just think about it. If you walk down a dark alley at midnight in some neighborhoods, there is a chance you will die. In your nervous system, your amygdala is so primitive, and it's such a short line between your thalamus and your amygdala. The thalamus, sort of where our identity lies and is formed and shape and resides. But that fear, and the only thing that comes from the amygdala is fear, anger, frustration, right? All of your thoughts of love, hope, peace, goodness, greatness, that's in your prefrontal lobe, in your anterior cingulate cortex. And it's a longer neural network pathway that you have to run, and you have to run it. That's why mantras are important. That's why affirmations are important. That's why visioning is important, because you literally are firing new neural network pathways to the front of your brain, to your anterior cingulate cortex, and then running them back. And it's like a wagon wheel. The more you do that, the deeper the rut and the simpler and easier it is for those thoughts to begin to fire. Does that make sense? Who is with me still? We've got 18 people on. Let me hear your answers. Nick says, I'm with you. Richard says, with you all the way. Art says, I am here. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Let me hear from more of you. There's nothing, absolutely nothing to hide here. I'm going to give you full transparency. Bring me your full presence. Change is hard, even if we know what is new is better. I've learned to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm still not comfortable with being uncomfortable. I just do it anyways. Yeah, I still have to do my mental framing and my work and every single exercise that I do to put myself into a new place. And then as your comfort zone expands, you get more and more comfortable. But then guess what? We're coaches, so we're freaking addicted to growth. So we have to do it all over again and all over again and all over again. And it's getting comfortable with that process, like you said, better than being comfortably numb. Pink Floyd, love Pink Floyd. Do it anyways. Yes, Carly, do it anyways. That's right. Bessie says, with you. Phyllis says, I'm with you. Kimberly says, makes sense. Dano says it. So why is this so important? Because if you don't believe you can do it, you won't take the little steps that you need to take in order to actually make it work. What do I mean by that? I already told you. Hey, Tara, how you doing? So Robbie, take notes, man. That's awesome. Take notes. And if you want to take pictures of them and share them in the group, that's awesome too. So let me give you an example. This breaks my heart. I spoke to someone a year and a half ago about their coaching business. This person makes a lot of money. Okay. Money is not an issue for them. They make a lot of money. They wanted to launch their coaching business. I told them that they had mindset issues that they needed to work on. And they said, no, I don't need to work. I don't have mindset issues. I'm a coach. And if I did, I'd know how to work with those. And I said, it's different. You don't understand. You haven't tried to launch a business yet. I have. I know the mindset issues you're going to run into. And this person said, no, I'm not going to have any of those. I want to get started. And then at the last minute backed out. At the last minute said, yeah, I can't do it. And gave some excuses. I'm not going to use them. I'm not going to give you those details because it's not fair for you to figure out who this person is, right? That was a year and a half ago. This person just recently reached out. So I just recently had a conversation with this person, asked how I was doing. And I said, I'm doing good. How are you doing? It's doing great. I said, all right, great. How's your coaching business going? And I've seen this person over the last year and a half post something here and something there about their life coaching. And so I'm assuming maybe this person's figured it out and is starting to have clients and this is really working. And I said, so how's it? No, I've seen all of your, I've seen all your comments. Oh, you saying everybody else. Got it. Yeah, if you go to panelists and attendees in chat, everyone will see what you're saying. Or if you just want to send me a message, you can just do panelists. I'm the only panelist. So I asked this person, well, how's your coaching business going? I haven't launched it yet. I was like, what do you mean? I mean, I see you posting about mindset stuff. I see you posting about having clients and what you teach your clients. And this person said, yeah, I just say that so that people think that I'm coaching, but I haven't figured it out yet. Are you kidding me? For the last year and a half, this person could quite possibly be a full-time coach now. But the mindset issues that this person would never even admit to, but that's what it was. It was mindset issues, has kept them from doing it. They're in the exact same place they were a year and a half ago. Okay, now before we judge, the question we want to ask ourselves is, do I have some mindset issues that have kept me in the same place in my coaching business for the last year and a half, last 12 months, last 9 months, last 6 months, last 3 months, last month? That's the question you want to ask yourself, because you are the biggest difference. And when you start answering that question and then you take different action because you create different beliefs and different emotions for yourself about your future, then you start to grow. Are you with me? Lori Parrish says, how do we take action? I'm not sure what you mean, Lori, but I will, if you're interested, I'll pull you on and you can ask me and we'll do it. If you're open to it, I'll pull you right on. You don't have to share your video. You can if you want to. We've got a couple other questions here. Okay, Art, we are going to get to that on Thursday. I see your questions. Those we're going to get to on Thursday, or I will answer them with you tomorrow evening at Wednesday evening. And we can even dive into it more on Thursday. But I see what you're saying. I have an answer, and I can just go live in the group. But I want to stay focused on mindset for this section right here. But then I'll do it. Okay, so Lori says, what's the best way to take action on changing our mindset? Okay, great question. So there's several ways. Here's what I use and here's what I teach. Mental framing. It's a way and a method of daily casting your vision for what you want to grow into, recognizing you aren't who you were last month, you are who you are becoming. And we use some visioning exercises where you're literally spending time envisioning what that would look like. But let's start here, Lori. Well, I'll tell you what else, and then we'll just start, and I'll have an exercise for everybody here. Okay, so what's the best way to take action on changing your mindset? The visioning and running a new neural network pathway and literally rewiring your brain. Okay, this is why, and people use affirmations, people use mantras, people use declarations. They work. Here's why. At least for where you are for launching a coaching business, it works, right? Because as you're thinking of what you're going to say, you're running a neural network pathway to your anterior cingulate cortex. Then when you say it, you run it again, and it runs that a little bit deeper. It makes those connections a little bit stronger. And then as you hear it audibly, what you're saying, it then sends it back, and now you're running it even deeper, and you are literally rewiring your brain. Now, if you want to take it even further, let yourself feel what it feels like for those thoughts to be true. If you want to take it further, spend some time with imagery, envisioning, seeing. What does your perfect day look like 1 year from now as a super successful coach? And then you start making decisions as that person, and those are the right decisions to make. Does that make sense, Lori? Okay, so here's something I want you to try, Lori. I want everyone else to try this. I want you to answer this question, and then I want you to do this exercise. If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. But it's like this. What would it feel like? What would it feel like to be a full-time coach, consistently enrolling new clients, delivering for them, transforming their lives, and growing your business? What would that feel like? And here's what I want you to do. If you're like, I don't know what that feels like, that seems so foreign to me, I want you to let yourself imagine. Just let yourself imagine what it would feel like. Just pretend. Just let yourself imagine. What would it feel like? I'm a successful coach. I'm coaching incredible clients. What does that feel like? I can feel that in my body right now. I can feel that like right up here across my shoulders. Let yourself imagine what it would feel like. What does it imagine? How does it change your family? How does it change your home life? How does it change your financial situation? How does it change your bank account? If you have a hard time thinking about how it changes your bank account, you've got mindset and mental framing issues around money. Let's deal with them. What does it feel like to see someone's life change dramatically? What does it feel like to be responsible for some of that? When you let yourself imagine what it would feel like, you can get sucked into rewiring your brain on an emotional level. Are you with me? Who's with me so far? Still with me? With you. Yes, yes. This is probably the thing that's neglected the most. Okay. Mental framing is the thing that's neglected most by almost every coach. Right. And it's a shame because we all know, like Nick just said, mindset matters. It's a foundation. You're totally right, brother. Totally right. Kyle, Psycho-Cybernetics? Absolutely. It's one of the books I keep right here. You think what you want about this book. It made a huge difference for me in the success of my business, and more importantly, in the success of my clients' results. Right? So, what do? You've got to start working on your vision for your future and believing it. And your coaches use the tools in your own toolbox for yourself. And if you need help, hire a coach. You can't, this is the thing, and I get it because I was there, right? You can't be a coach and not be open to being coached. It's hypocrisy. It's total hypocrisy. And this isn't a pitch for you to hire me. I don't care. I care about you. That's what I care about, your best coaching business and your best life. That, me caring about you, is what makes me such a great coach. That's what I've learned about myself. If I just care about you, I'm taken care of. That's my Zen, okay? But if you aren't open to coaching, you're a hypocrite and you shouldn't be in the industry. How can you tell somebody else you need to get help if you aren't willing to get help? How can you tell somebody else to invest in you if you're not willing to invest in you? How do you tell them to invest in themselves if you're not willing to invest in yourself? You can't. This is called the law of mirroring, right? If you are indecisive, afraid to take risks, afraid to invest, afraid to get out of your comfort zone, guess what kind of clients you're absolutely going to attract? Clients who are indecisive, have money issues, afraid to invest in time and energy in themselves, and afraid of whatever the other thing was I said. If anyone remembers, just put it in there, right? You will reflect in your business what's inside of you, and you will attract people. Kat, the question you said this morning, right, where you started to change your question and adjust your question about clients not being able to afford you, has more to do with what's going on inside of you than it does with their actual reality. Does that make sense? I'm using you as an example because you're an awesome coach, and I know that you can take it, and I want to push you further. But does that make sense? Right? Yeah. And you can change that. You can totally change that. That's just in you. That's it. Right? So let's change that. Right? How does the you feel about people? The you that has plenty of people who already pay full price for your coaching. What does that you think? What does that you feel? Yeah, it's great, Art. Kyle, boom, a good friend uses this all the time. I'm starting on it. Yeah, Psycho-Cybernetics, it's good. Kat totally agrees. Terry Butler, 100%. All right, so let's talk about mindset issues. All right, I've got about 15 minutes, and My battery just died on my watch. Let's plug this bad boy in so that it's working when I go pick up my daughters. All right. Who has questions specifically about mindset? Let's dive in right now. Let's go right now. If you're willing to get uncomfortable right now, we'll work through your mindset issues right now. Who's got them? Give me a holler. You can put them right in the group right there on Facebook. All right. Kyle, me. All right. Claire, welcome in. Kyle, just give me, one really short sentence about what your mindset issue is about. Just type it right in the chat right there. And if you're willing to be vulnerable, you will get the most out of this, and the people in here will get the most out of this. And anybody else right now, this is like free coaching around mindset issues, around mental framing. Get in my head that more people are better than me at where I want to be. All right. Kyle, can I bring you on? All right. I want to promote you to a panelist. And you're coming back. Here he comes, coming back in as a panelist. All right, Kyle, I'm unmuting you, trying to unmute you. There you go. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Enjoying a little baseball in the background.
Who's playing?
Astros versus the Twins. I'm from Houston. So hang on, let me move really quick.
All right, Houston, you broke my heart last year. I'm a Red Sox fan.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. We got Alex Cora. We're good.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be a fun postseason this year. All right, let's get into mindset issues.
All right.
Just tell me what.
So a lot of times I get, when I'm starting to talk to people, say, hi, Ella Marie. There you go. It's a kid in the background.
That's all right.
So, the people that I talk to who are either in the area I want to work or who I kind of have brought into and out of my own circle are, it just feels that they're more knowledgeable, that they're more, how would you put it? That they're just better at where they are now than I am, and that some of them, I don't know, I just feel that I can't get to their level. And I know it's a mental thing. I've acknowledged that. Now it's moving past it.
Yeah, so it is. That's not real. So, one of my favorite quotes is from Richard Branson.
Yep. And
it's basically, I'll pull it up right now and I'll read it to you. Here we go. I've got half of it memorized. I've got the second half, but let me just read this to you. All right. And I want you to take this quote and I want you to put it into whatever kind of mental framing or morning formula or whatever your morning ritual is. I want you to take this quote and I want you to put it in there and I want you to focus on this every day. And this is how it goes. Okay. Sorry, it's Preston Eli, not Richard Branson.
Preston Eli.
Right. And he says this. And I can shoot this, I can put this in the group so that you don't have to record it all, but realize the truth. No one, and I mean no one, not the Pope, not the president, and maybe not, but possibly Richard Branson is better than you. They simply know something you don't know. They believe something better than you're believing and are doing something you're not doing. Those are all things you can change very easily. Right? So those people that you're looking at, comparison is death, right? Comparison is always going to be death. And here's the thing, comparison goes, people could look at you and just say, I'll never be as good as of a father as Kyle is, right? There are people comparing themselves to you, and they shouldn't, because they can't father like you. They have to father like themselves. And you can't coach like you can't coach like me, but you can coach like you because you are the biggest difference in your coaching business. You are. It's you. It's what you bring to the table. I'm going to give away all this free stuff all week long, but I'm the difference. Like, I know when people work with me, they're going to get so much further than if they're doing it on their own, right? So when you look at all these other people, they're either believing something you're not believing, right? Mm-hmm. They're doing something you're not doing, or they know something you don't know. And in today's day and age, never before in the history of the world, all of the world, never before have we been able to solve these kind of issues more easily and more readily. We couldn't be having this conversation like this 20 years ago. Just 20 years ago, I couldn't do this training like this. We'd have to be in a room together, right? But I'm doing it right now for free through Facebook platform, right?
Yep.
Just, what are you believing? What are you doing? And what do you know? And you can change those things. So inherently, it doesn't have anything to do with a flaw in you. There's no flaw in you. There's nothing wrong with you. You aren't broken. When you allow yourself to unleash the full potential that's within you, then you will be coaching in a way where other people, unfortunately, will go, I'll never be like Kyle. Do you know what I mean? And I get it, Kyle, because I was right where you're at. What you don't know that I do know is how freaking close you are to doing this and making it happen and succeeding. I know that. I know that it's just in the grand scheme of what's going on in life, where you are is like, you're just right there. Right. And so it becomes, you stop playing the comparison game and you start running those neural network pathways about what happens when you get in touch with your true self, when you start coaching the way you know you can coach. And it'll start different. Like, you're not going to start and coach the president, right? But if you've been through something and you've come out the other side and you now know something that someone else who's about to go through something doesn't know, congratulations, you can coach them through what they're going through. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It does. So
does that help you?
No, it really does. And well, one, thanks for bringing me on. This is kind of,
man.
This isn't like a place I would have been before, like a year ago. And
right.
Yeah. So, that's been part of the battle, and continually realizing, I've been back to this place before. So like, I've worked it up and then came back down and worked it up, came back. I think you've seen me post on that when you've gone live.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that can, so there's this thing called regression. And this is why mental framing is so important, where this is our baseline and then we hit some success, but because we're so comfortable right here, we come back to it.
Yep.
And we can't. And so what we have to do is we have to make this baseline move up with our mental framing. So this is our new floor. This is what we're comfortable with. Like, the first time that I hit, at the time, what I thought was just an insanely stupid amount of money, but it was the first time I had my first double five digit month, I almost had a panic attack, because I come from a long line of truckers that grew up in trailer parks in Northwestern Pennsylvania. And I remember having this conversation with my girlfriend. This was a couple years ago, where I was just like, we don't do this. Grinnens don't do this. We don't make money. We aren't successful like this. My parents are great people. They worked 3 and 4 jobs to, provide an income for us so we could go to college, and is awesome. But the first time I told my dad that I had a $10,000 month, he didn't say, that's awesome. He said, oh, really? Do you think you can do that? And I told this story before, and I was like, Dad, no, it's not. I did it. He goes, yeah, I know. But like, is it possible to have a $10,000 month? And I was like, Dad, I did it. It's already in my bank account. And he was like, oh, and you could see all of a sudden his whole worldview changed. like that. And so but I had to go through that shift. I had to go through that before in my head, before it happened in reality. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely does. It does.
Awesome, brother. All right. So here's what I would say. Hit your mental framing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take that quote, put it down, start reading it every day. Have you read Psycho-Cybernetics?
It's on my reading list. So I got like 2 or 3 that I've kind of got off the reading path for a while.
But, I hear you, man. It's easy.
Yeah, good buddy of mine who just did a keynote for the organization I volunteer with. I mean, before he went up and delivered, and he's kind of not the most comfortable speaker. And I asked him, I was like, Josh, how did you do this? He goes, Psycho-Cybernetics. It got him through flight school in the Marine Corps. It got him through. And I was like, there's no way. He's like, I believe in it. So I kind of read a couple excerpts on it. And it's powerful, man. It's crazy.
Awesome. All right, brother. Listen, start going into that, show up all week long, because we'll keep coming back to some mental issues stuff. The mindset stuff doesn't go away. So this will show up for everybody. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. And
thanks for doing what you do. Dude.
Yeah, man, I love it. I'm just going to keep doing it. So
awesome.
All right, brother. All right. I want to thank Kyle for coming on. So what does mindset issue have to do with growing your business? There are things you have to do, like put yourself out there, stand out, talk to people, engage people in conversation. And if you're afraid of what your friends are going to think, if you're afraid of what your family's going to think, if you're afraid of sounding salesy, if you're afraid of being icky, then you're never, ever, ever going to launch properly and grow. Does that make sense? Special thanks to Kyle for his transparency. It was awesome. Are you guys with me? Let me check back in here to Facebook. Sorry, I had to come off Facebook for a second. More confident. Yes. You're not alone, Kyle. Simone, yes. That is truth. It says Art, yes, makes sense with you all the way. Richard, yes, yes. Art doesn't make so yeah. So yeah, we'll dive into this deep, Art. Like you and I will go deep. We can do it one-on-one if we need to. But I mean, Art brings up a great point. Okay. Being afraid, and I know. So here's what I did with my Facebook page, and we'll talk about this more on Thursday. Still a mindset issue. I created a business page. I started my coaching business with a blog and sharing it on Facebook. What ended up happening is people on my friends list started following my blog. Slow. This is the very, very slow way. Don't do it this way. But as soon as I discovered Facebook business pages, I created a business page so I could have my privacy, because I didn't want to be uncomfortable. I was afraid of people knowing I had friends when I told them I was going to be a life coach. They were like, okay, you're stupid. And also, please don't tell people you're going to be a life coach. That's embarrassing. I mean, it was awful, man. So I had all these mindset issues I had to work through, right? And so for years, I just worked off my business page, which is a terrible, terrible idea. It doesn't work unless you're pouring money into advertising and boost posts over and over and over again. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for people like Brennan Burchard. Sometimes I'll have posts on his business page that has like 1 or 2 likes. And then you see one that's got 420 shares. That's because he paid money for other people to see that, so much so that he paid for thousands and thousands and thousands of people for that to reach so that they would share it. And he specifically paid for it to be shared. That's it, right? So I created, because I was afraid of what my friends would think if they knew I was life coaching. Do you know how long that held me back? It's just a mindset issue. What do I care what people think of me? Well, I'm a people pleaser. That's what I care. So, I had to do a lot of mental framing work around that. Are you all with me? You are the biggest difference. You are. Nothing else. There are no excuses. Any excuse, any reason you have for not launching other than I don't actually want to be a coach is just an excuse. It's just holding you back. Things do change, Kyle. Things do change. You're welcome, brother. Bro Tato. I love that. Bro Chacho. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Before we wrap up. Listen, after this session, tomorrow, I'll probably pop on tonight. My daughter's school starts tomorrow, so I may not pop on tonight just to jam with you guys, but I am going to go crazy all week long with you. So tonight might just be like build a fort, watch a movie, have popcorn, get ready for school tomorrow. All that jazz. But tomorrow we're going to dive deep into niche and messaging. And I'm going to share with you the biggest, it's not a secret, but like the biggest leverage in niching has to do with messaging, not with focusing in on your target market. And I'll explain it to you. And we're not going to do avatar stuff. We're not going to do it. Awesome, Jeff. Beautiful. All right, listen. Any limiting belief, here's your homework. Any limiting belief, any mindset issue you think you have, I want you to develop two things. One, a statement, an affirmation, a mantra, if you will, that directly transforms your thoughts, so that as soon as you have that thought, you can say it out loud, the new belief that will keep you from thinking the first one and will replace it. And you'll stop running between your amygdala and your thalamus, and you start running to your anterior cingulate cortex and your thalamus. Then I want you to begin to imagine what it would feel like to have that belief removed. What does that life look like? What does that life feel like? You are going to start future pacing yourself because you want to get in touch with that person. That's still you. You just want to get in touch with it. Are you with me? Is everybody with me? Is this too woo-woo for anybody? Let me know if you feel that way. I'm okay with that if you feel that way. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Lori Paris says not too woo-woo. Love it. Beautiful. Yeah. Looking forward to the next session. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So I got some stuff I got to do. And I got to go pick up my daughters and bring them back. I'll probably try to pop in here for a couple minutes later tonight just to check in. But you have your homework. You have your homework for questions. You now have your homework for mental framing. Start developing language, thought patterns, future pacing. Start envisioning what you want your business to look like and allow yourself to feel, what if it happened? What does that feel like? That's where you want to get to. When you can feel that emotion in your body, you're doing it. All right. Yeah, I will cut and paste that quote directly into the Facebook group. All right, you're all awesome. And I will connect with you later. Thank you so much for being here. Ashley, what's going on? She says, I love woo-woo. You call it woo-woo, you call it science, you call it whatever you want. I call it works. Totally works. All right. We will jam tomorrow unless I do sneak in later tonight. I will talk with you all later.